Welcome back to another explainer. If you write, or frankly, even just interact with Python code, you absolutely know the dread of a sudden, unexplained crash. It's the worst, right? Today, we're focusing on something literally every single developer faces, but surprisingly few actually master right out of the gate. Okay, let's dive into this. Unified exception management in Python. We're going to look closely at how to cleanly and effectively deal with exceptions so your scripts stay robust, reliable, and most importantly, running smoothly. So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll explore unified management, and then second, we're going to drill down into handling multiple exceptions. Let's get right to it. All right, Section 1, Unified Management, Python Strategies. So what happens when your Python code encounters an unexpected break? I mean, picture this. You've spent hours writing and refining a script. Everything looks absolutely flawless. You hit run, and boom, an error appears. Does your program gracefully handle it? Or does it just halt the whole process, throwing a massive, messy traceback right onto your terminal? That sudden, jarring stop is incredibly frustrating, and it leaves our applications super vulnerable. Because, real-world data is messy. Users type the wrong things, files mysteriously go missing. We absolutely have to be prepared for all of it. Well, that is exactly where unified exception management comes in. Basically, it's the structured approach to managing and organizing exceptions within your Python scripts. It means that instead of just slapping a random, frantic Band-Aid on errors exactly as they pop up, you have a cohesive, predictable system built in right from the very start. A system for catching and handling things when they inevitably go off the rails. It's really about turning that sudden crash into a smoothly managed detour. Think of it kind of like a safety net at a circus. You don't just put a tiny net under one specific acrobat and cross your fingers hoping the others don't fall, right? No, you build a unified, structural net that spans the whole floor, ready to catch anyone, anywhere. By organizing exceptions systematically, we keep our code base clean, readable, and trust me, infinitely easier to debug. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it brings us to Section 2, multiple exceptions, which is our core focus today. Dealing with a single, isolated error is one thing, but handling multiple exceptions in Python, that is where the true power and resilience of a developer really shines. Let's do a practical walkthrough of a super common error scenario. Imagine you're writing a script that reads user data from a file, pulls out some numbers, and calculates an average. Okay, first, the file you're trying to open might not even be there, right? That triggers a file not found error. Second, maybe the file contains a random word instead of numbers. Boom, value error. Third, if the file happens to be completely empty, your script might end up trying to divide by a total of 0, giving you a 0 division error. If you aren't managing exceptions properly, your script just breaks in 3 totally different ways at 3 totally different times. But Python allows you to handle all of this so gracefully. In terms of basic syntax, conceptually, you isolate your risky code inside a centralized try block. And then you route all those different potential risks through dedicated except guacs. You can handle the missing file one way, the bad data another, or even group several errors together if they just require the same basic response, like logging a failure. The absolutely crucial point here is that you don't want to write isolated, redundant safety nets. You're creating a centralized hub that systematically manages these multiple realities. To put this all into perspective, let's contrast unmanaged exceptions with unified management. In an unmanaged scenario, which is basically the Wild West of coding, a single missing file or a minor math error instantly kills your entire script. It's completely vulnerable, totally unpredictable, and honestly a nightmare for anyone trying to use your software. Imagine handing this unmanaged script to a coworker. They run it, it completely crashes, and they have literally no idea why. On the flip side, with unified exception management, multiple exceptions, whether it's an input error, a system error, or a math error, are all caught, logged, and handled systematically. The application just keeps running, or if it absolutely has to shut down, it does so gracefully, saving the user's data first and providing a super clear message about what went wrong. It basically takes the myriad of complex ways a Python script can fail and routes them through a logical process. It's the exact difference between your car completely breaking down in the middle of a busy highway versus a dashboard light cleanly and safely telling you, hey, just pull over and check your tire pressure. So, what does this all mean for you? That brings us to our final parting thought for this explainer. Are you unifying your Python exceptions, or are you just hoping for the best? As we've seen today, effectively handling multiple exceptions is not just some neat syntax trick. It's the absolute foundation of resilient professional programming. When you unify your error management, you take control away from the unexpected and you put it firmly back into your own hands. So here's my challenge to you. Open up your most recent Python script right after this, take a hard look at your error handling blocks, and ask yourself that very question. Thanks so much for joining me to break down this vital topic. Keep exploring, keep organizing that code, and keep learning.